I decided to clean my room at 3 a.m. today, and in doing that, I found this these journal entries from dead ass a year ago in this freaking binder thing in one of my storage bins. And there's only two journal entries in here. I have a journal, but there's two of them in here. And one of them I read that had something to do with the prompt says, think about a time when you felt alive and fully expressed what and fully self expressed what were the conditions. Obviously, I'm tired, my brain is lagging. What were the conditions? And I talked about how I feel the most alive when I'm crying, interestingly enough. And I described my last therapy session with my last therapist that I had had for basically all of the second half of my adolescent development, from when I was in seventh grade to when I was in my first year of college, first semester. That was my therapist for what? It was a little bit after I turned 19. So, 8 years, I think. 7, 8 years, the same therapist. And to let go of that, I remember the day as well. I remember sitting outside, and it was a very, very nice, beautiful day. Very, very sunny. Obviously, it wasn't raining. I was able to sit outside. And I remember sitting on this bench near like this dedication area for a lot of frats and sororities on one of the benches near there, and just carrying out my little Zoom meeting out in broad daylight. And I just, obviously, we did the whole session, and we get to the end of it, and I literally just start crying. My cat's doing dumb shit. I literally start crying just in broad daylight, and I didn't stop myself. And I cried in front of her, my therapist, which obviously I guess you could say like I felt comfortable because she'd been the individual that I had designated as safe space for emotional whatever for 7 years. That consistency, so probably that was why I was so easily able to cry. But the more pressing thing to me was the fact that there were people walking by, and there were people walking by the class, etc. And I didn't stop, and I didn't make myself stop. I didn't feel ashamed or embarrassed. I just felt, I didn't even feel the emotion of shame or embarrassment come up, you know? It's like I didn't even have to combat that emotion itself. It didn't even come up for me. There was no shame in it. And I had never felt so human. I feel like there are a lot of times for which I suppress my humanity in a way because of fear of the way that it will be interpreted, right? Because that humanity, I think, is what I more so mean is my authenticity, or the way in which my brain chooses to respond or exist with certain things or with certain people or the circumstances or the stimulus in the environment. My natural gut first raw reaction is my human one, and there's so much of myself that is of that is so suppressed. And I find that when it does rear its head, even without my knowledge, there's just such an interesting level of things that occur, I feel like, in my life, and the way that people respond to me that is so non neutral, yet my suppression of that allows for neutrality, which, while boring and unoriginal and so not me, it is, or it garners a level of safety that is consistent for me, which I do think has become such a comfort to feel that safety, and to not be so polarizing in the way that I know that I am. So much so to the fact that, like, when other individuals are polarizing, it triggers a level of disgust or shame in me, to which I am internally, obviously I don't express this, but I do feel it, where I'm internally like, my first reaction to them will be, why aren't you hiding that? But it's like, the real question should be, why do I feel the need to do that? And I think what doesn't help too is that there is such an obsession within our culture today, especially in like Gen Z, etc., socially on the internet, with this perfection and this curation, even boiling down to things like the rise in language that is synonymous with aesthetic and niches and just specific, almost brand like language in reference to yourself and your life. It's like genuinely commodifying yourself and making yourself not a fully faceted human being, right? With not just flaws but juxtapositions and, honestly, fucking hypocrisies and things that in one sense seem like one thing that's consistent but then are inconsistent in other ways, which again is humanity. This rise in the commodification of self leaves such a level of, at least personally for me, has left such a level of dissonance between myself and myself observing myself, to the point where I feel like a third party in a lot of senses. But I don't know if that's directly connected to, obviously, like the sociological landscape right now, or just my own autistic experience of observing myself in order to survive and learning to mask, etc. And it honestly probably could be both. I don't fucking know. But, um, yeah. And I'm trying to get more comfortable talking on camera because I'm trying to bite the fucking bullet and grow the balls to finally start a YouTube channel and talk about this shit. Because I feel like I have a lot to talk about and to say about things. And I want to be able to express my ideas to others to see if it can maybe help or get people thinking. Also, yeah. And also share my art. But yeah, I have a lot that I think about as well. So I don't know if I would do just an art. That's the thing. I don't know if I would do just an art channel. I don't know if I would do like a art vlog channel or a mix of something like that, and that would be like in the category of art channel. Or I don't know. I know you want to come up. Come on. My cat. Okay. I don't know if I would just do an art channel or an art vlog channel, like I said, or if I would do some type of like almost like video essay Substack like channel. But that would be like, that would have to be a completely other niche outside of the art thing, which is also why, like, I don't know if I will have multiple, because in some senses, like, I really, really like the idea of doing think pieces, video essays, etc. Or like, yeah, things like that. Or I really like that idea, but also doing art channels, an art channel where I would just do vlogs of me painting, do like sketchbook tours and shit like that, and just do different things because I'm technically actively an art student, um, and just kind of bringing people on that journey and letting go of the idea that I have to be like not necessarily perfect, but I think letting go of the idea that I have to be at a level of like peak development, and that I can only express once I am like, I can't express when I'm in the realm of being made or developing. But like there will never be a moment where I'm not developing because I am a living, breathing human being, which is also like what, like I said, something. Okay, bro. Okay, bro. Okay. Which is also something that I'm trying to let go of, the idea that I have to be like almost like the optimization of a fucking product. Like I said, that I have to be optimum version of Lee before anybody can see me. And that's pretty fucked up, you know. That is that's pretty fucked up. And yeah. So I say all that to say, yeah, even in this I said that. I said, and I fucking quote, the full expression of my emotions, free from my own judgment, made me feel incredibly alive and raw as a human being. It's like for one of the first times I didn't boil my emotions down to mere inconveniences. I gave myself a true and neutral space to let them play out. The full, unfiltered, uncurated expression of the emotion felt so great. And that is what I am realizing gives me such a feeling of joy. The full, uncurated, raw expression of things. Because there is a rawness to me that I don't allow, an uncontrolledness that I don't allow. And I think that I've clung to control heavily. And it has given me a lot, yeah. But it is more so born out of survival and the need to feel secured before. Yeah. But you know, like, there's such a vulnerability to being at square 5 instead of square 10, you know? And allowing the product to be seen at that stage without feeling like you have to optimize it before it has any value, you know? There's such a value in the journey and the underdevelopedness of it, because it is exactly what brings you to the developed stage of it. You should get flowers at 1, and you should get flowers at 4, and you should get flowers at 7, as much as you get flowers at 10, you know? Because all of it is what built it up. And that's the humanness of it all. The process. So yeah. I don't know if this will be my first YouTube video. It'd be funny if it was. It'd be funny if it was. Um, Honestly, I doubt it will be, but who knows? It might be. I was recording earlier, and I, yeah, already kind of put myself in the scope of trying to do that. So yeah, yeah, we'll see.